Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very glad to have with us today Bob Webb of ClearlyIP. Bob, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Doug, thanks for having us.
Well, we're going to be talking about something that is often not discussed, but is still very important and very relevant to a lot of major industries, to government, to major legal transactions. There's a lot of stuff going on still with fax machines. So listen up, everybody. Your customers, your clients, or your own company may still be using it. And I think Clearly IP's got some interesting information. So, Bob, we're going to dive into that in just a second. But what's Clearly IP?
Sure. ClearlyIP is a VoIP provider. Fundamentally, we're a VoIP provider. We are a growth company. Our flagship product is Clearly Cloud, our UCaaS platform. But we also sell SIP trunking. We manufacture our own devices. We manufacture our own SIP phones and our own SIP gateways, which we sell at great prices. They're great machines that we sell at great prices to our resellers. We also have a hosted or a premise-based PBX system, which is designed for the hospitality industry, and we're actually in more than 1,800 hotels nationwide and serving 400,000 some hotel rooms. So again, fundamentally a VoIP provider, but a very wide range of solutions in that VoIP space.
So, one of the things that you guys are sort of known for, and we've been talking about all year as we've been reporting on Clearly IP, has been that you guys like to solve problems that your customers actually have instead of just kind of marching them forward to some other place. And so, fax is still a big deal, very important to lots of industries. It's even required in some industries. But you surprised me this morning. I kind of figured it might have become difficult, but I didn't know that it had become expensive.
Sure. So here it is, 2024, and we're still talking about faxing,
Right.
and a lot of folks are still using and relying on faxing. The reason it's become more difficult is because the legacy copper providers have been yanking that copper out of the ground and replacing it with fiber, and basically transparently to the end user, putting them on a voice over IP platform that's not designed to
Hmm.
carry faxing. But if you happen to be lucky enough where you rely on fax and you still have the copper, those same legacy providers are jacking up the prices. So it's become more and more expensive, as well as just more difficult to deliver a high quality fax in the traditional way.
So you guys have actually been working on this problem.
Sure, absolutely. So the solution is okay, if the problem is transport, which is fundamentally the problem here, it's either the transport's getting more expensive or it's just being taken away. Let's change the transport. Let's change the transport from traditional faxing to email. And that's what our SendFax.to platform does. Basically, we're going to marry an email address to a phone number. Actually, multiple email addresses to multiple phone numbers. But that's the key, because faxing is fundamentally a phone number to phone number communication medium. But our platform, we marry an email address to the phone number, and now we'll use email as the transport.
Hmm. Now, I have to ask because the whole point of the fax is I think the faxes have been retained throughout these major industries like real estate, law, and so on, because it's perceived as very secure. So, is it secure with
It's,
the
it,
method you're saying?
it is absolutely secure. So let's talk about marrying that email address on both the inbound and the outbound side. On the inbound side, if I say this email address, bweb@clearlyip.com, is now tied to this phone number, now anybody in the world can send a fax to that phone number. It will get to Clearly IP, and we will deliver it to that email address. And we can deliver that as an encrypted. So they're using a standard fax machine. Nothing's changed on the far end there. And on our side, we can deliver that as an encrypted PDF, encrypted with your password, as secure as you want it. On the outbound side, we can enable hundreds of email addresses, literally, to be able to, and again, tie it to a phone number. And again, what you'll be doing there is you'll be sending a PDF to any fax machine in the world. you'll address that as an email to your customer, your provider, your partner's number at SendFax.to, and we'll deliver that email. You'll email it, and we'll deliver that over standard faxing. And you can secure that document any way you want to secure that document, password encrypting, etc.
And you know what? It's interesting to me that there's still a significant number of organizations throughout the country and around the world that are still actually using physical fax machines. Can you help those customers?
Absolutely. If you're using a fax machine, we have an appliance that will plug directly into your fax machine. So
Hmm.
facing your fax machine, it thinks it's talking to basically a copper line. Now on the other side, it's a web interface to our servers. This works for both inbound and outbound. So you'll just send a fax the way you've always sent a fax on the fax machine. It will transfer over HTTPS, so a secure connection, and then we'll deliver that to the number that you dialed on your fax machine. The same thing works in reverse. We can do that. So again, you have a number tied to this machine. Anybody in the world sends a fax to that number, comes to our servers. We're going to deliver it over the web securely to that machine and then off to your fax machine. So we're really completely eliminating standard telephony transport on your leg of the communication.
So, Bob, now that I've made the transition as a customer from using a physical fax machine or some other method to basically fax by email, what's next?
Well, the great thing about once email is your transport, Doug, the great thing is you can now fax from any device as long as you have access to that married email address. So
Hmm.
your phone, for example, your mobile phone, take a picture of a document, attach it to an email, send it to fax number at SendFax.to, and you will deliver that to any fax machine in the world. Likely as well, any fax machine that would have faxed your phone number will get delivered to your email and you can pick it up from your mobile phone. Even slicker, multifunction printers, because now multifunction printers have both a scan to email and email to print automated solutions. So again, I can tie that email address to a phone number and basically turn my multifunction printer into a fax machine that's using email for the transport instead of copper lines.
I'm sitting here, I can imagine a lot of different interesting applications to that, but I think that'd be really, and if you're a partner running around out there, this is going to be significant for your clients who are looking to modernize, and you've just really made it a little bit better for them.
We think so. We've improved the world, I think, with this faxing technology. You're allowed to use your legacy technology, but you're allowed to use it more efficiently and less expensively.
Well, Bob, this has been really interesting, and it was more than I thought it would be to learn about how can be transformed, and maybe also into some great opportunities here for the partners. Where can I learn more about ClearlyIP?
Absolutely. ClearlyIP.com. We have a full wiki and product pages for you to review and cover the SendFax.to product in detail.
Well, thank you very much indeed for joining me today. I'm looking forward to learning more about this and other ClearlyIP stories. Bob, thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you, Doug. It's always great.